Hey guys, it's Trish and I'm here for the BRI blog as a guest designer. Today I'm using two fairly new items to me, and that is the MFT Tickled Pink stamp set and then the MFT Flamingo die that kind of coordinates with it. And I'm going to pair that up with some Tim Holtz watercolor distress paper, and I will cut the flamingos out with that. Today I decided I'm going to be using some of the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I am thoroughly enjoying these. I don't know, they just work awesome, and I tend to use them 99% of the time with water, and I just really like the effect and the feel it gives. It can be really bright or just really soft. So the colors I'm using today are 026, which is the brighter pink, 021, which is the brighter pink, 026, which is the next color, which is what I used on the body, and then on the actual feather portion of the body, I'm using 026 with 028 to kind of soften it up a bit. And again, I'm just laying down color, not being neat about it, and then I am just using my water brush to make all the colors blend together really nicely. Once I finish coloring all of the pieces of the flamingo's body, you'll see that I left the legs and the beak in because it was just easier to color these smaller detail pieces while they were still in with the paper. So I'm just using the number 095, the dark gray, to color the beak. And I tried blending it out with some water, but it just was too faint, and so I decided to just color the whole piece with the marker, and then I'm going to use the same color to color the legs. You'll see here that I did use the second portion of the beak in orange, but when I layered them up, I just didn't like how it looked, and so I left that piece off after I had applied the black portion of the beak. And I just colored two different styles of legs because I really wasn't sure of which one I was going to use. So you'll see here later on I'll use the bent up leg. Now I'm attaching the beak, and I'm just using some of the Tim Holtz Multi-Medium Matte or Ranger Multi-Medium Matte Glue. I really like this, and I have that fine tip nozzle that Jennifer McGuire suggested to use on it, and I really like it because I have no problem with it getting clogged. And for this type of cutout or die cut where it's like the beak and it's so tiny, it's the perfect amount of glue that's dispensed, and so I don't have to worry about it oozing everywhere. I'm applying a little bit of foam tape onto the back of the wings, and I'm going to attach those. Now I only end up using one flamingo, but since I cut out the pair, I decided I would go ahead and color both of them. I wasn't sure which one I was going to be using, which way I was going to face. Sorry if you hear running in the background. My daughter's upstairs and running in her Elsa high heel shoes. But I didn't know which flamingo I was going to use, so I just colored both of them, and I figured whichever one I didn't use, I would just go ahead and save in the pocket that my die cut is in. So you'll see, or you've seen, that I've cut out the MFT Sunray die out of yellow cardstock, and I've put that aside. And now I have a 4" by 5 1/4 piece of white cardstock, and I'm just taking tumble glass and really inking up this page, but I'm focusing on the bottom right-hand corner and just fading it up towards the rest of the cardstock. Now I'm taking the MFT Sunray die and I'm placing it on my inked up white page, and I'm taking the outline of it and I've put that down without adhesive, and I'm kind of filling in the puzzle pieces to align the rays perfectly onto my background of my card. Now you'll see that I'm not really using all of the pieces, and that's because the Lawn Fawn Stitch Circle Stackable that I have in the right hand corner is going to be covering most of the bottom right hand corner, but I wanted to be sure that I had all the pieces filled in that I needed to that will be showing through behind that. So you'll see here I'm just referring to that, and I have one more piece that I need to adhere, and I'm just using some basic snail adhesive to adhere this. And I'm lifting up the outline, and everything is perfectly aligned where it's supposed to be. So now I'm just working on the layout of my card. I decided to go with just one flamingo and the one facing towards the left, just because everything else was to the right, so I wanted to offset it a little bit. I don't know, just you can pick whichever one you want, really. I just like the way this one was facing. And I decided to go with these legs that are kind of, one is bent instead of both of them are standing, or both of them are straight. And then I decided that I really wanted part of my sentiment to be on the outside of the card and then the other half to be on the inside. So I'm taking this longer sentiment, I'm just selectively inking it so that I can get part of the sentiment on this black cardstock. So before I stamp it and emboss it, I'm using my EK Success powder tool to prevent any additional static so that my embossing powder is not sticking everywhere. And here I'm just selectively inking the sentiment with some VersaFine or Versamark ink and using some of the Ranger Superfine Detail white embossing powder and just cleaning up any edges or any extra powder that may have accidentally got stuck with some ink, and then heat setting that and trimming down this piece. I will be making a flag or a V shape on the left side of the sentiment just to add a little bit more interest, and then I'll be attaching that behind the flamingo. You'll see there that I have a little bit of the embossing powder still left on my black cardstock, and you can really notice it with the black cardstock, but it rubs off really easy. You can just take a paper towel or cloth or a dried up baby wipe or slightly dried up baby wipe and just rub it really lightly, and the powder comes off without any problems at all. So here I've decided on the layout on my card, so I'm just going to go ahead and attach the stitched circle. And then I'm going to attach the flamingo. Now the flamingo I decided I wanted to pop up with some foam tape, but I wanted to keep the legs pretty flat just because they were so thin it would be too difficult to try and pop those up. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the legs with some of the Ranger Multimedia Matte Glue adhesive, and then I'm taking my time to really trim out some of the foam tape so that I can really pop up all of the flamingo. I didn't want to just pop up the body and then the neck would kind of be flat, so I'm just taking my time, and it does take a little bit of patience to cut really small pieces, but in the end it was worth it. So before I attach the body, I'm going to go ahead and attach my sentiment, and then I'm going to attach the legs, like I said, with the Ranger Multimedia Matte. Now I'm applying two small, very small dots under the feet because that is the larger portion of the die cut. And again, that fine tip applicator is perfect for this because it just puts out just the tiniest bit of glue so that I'm not worrying about making a mess. The top portion I didn't really worry about attaching because the flamingo body was going to be sitting on it. So I've gone ahead and cut an A2 size cardstock. A2 size card out of pink cardstock because I thought it went really well with the actual flamingo, and I've stamped the rest of the sentiment on the inside, which is with sunshine and a little pink. And then I'm just going to attach the front panel of my card with some snail adhesive. Now, you could leave this card just as it is, but I felt like it needed a little bit more to it, so of course I'm reaching for my Wink of Stella in clear and applying that to all of the sun rays just to add that little bit of glitter. And that completes my card for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to check out the description box below for a link to all the supplies used on this card, and I'll be sure to be back with another card for you guys really soon. Until then, bye!